Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video on how to make a unique display stand in Fallout 4, and I'm going to try to make this quick because it is a very long process, or it can be when you're trying to explain it. So I'm going to get right to it. I'm probably not going to waste a lot of time with details. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comments section. So you're going to need 3 programs for this. You're going to need NifScope, you're going to need Bethesda Archive Extractor, and you're going to need Fallout 4 Creation Kit. To begin, you're going to open Bethesda Archive Extractor. You're going to open the mesh BA2s for Fallout 4 that are found in your data folder. So Fallout 4 data, and then go down to Fallout 4 meshes, extra, and meshes, and open those. And search up the bobblehead stand. So we want bobblehead stand 01. Tick that, extract it to your Fallout 4 data folder, close Bethesda Archive Extractor. Next, you want to go to NifScope. And you want 2 windows of this. You want one that's going to contain your already assembled mesh for your display. The other is going to have the bobblehead stand. I have to go find my bobblehead stand. It should be in set dressing, and then bobbleheads. All right, so you've got both of those. All you have to do now is move your mesh into this window. So we're going to get rid of their mesh, find the BS Mesh LOD Tri-Shape found at the very bottom of your Ninode. Right-click that, block, remove branch. Now go to your mesh, expand the Ninode. These BS Tri-Shapes, block, copy branch. Then right-click on Ninode, block, paste branch. And you do that for each of these, each of the BS Tri-Shapes. Once you've done that, all that's left, you can close the original model you had. You don't need that anymore. So now you want to take these Ninodes here. These are the displays, the bobblehead displays where they are placed on the model. You want to line them up with whatever your display spots are. And the way you do that, you click the Ninode, so bobblehead dummy 001, right-click, block, or no, right-click, transform, edit. And you can see the coordinates right here. You want to move them with your mouse wheel until they are where you want the item displayed on your mesh. You might need to pan around a little bit, figure out what the orientation of the node is. So for all intents and purposes, this is good enough for me. You would then click accept. And you will do that for each and every one of these Ninodes. You will put them on the different spots that an item would be displayed all over this. The other thing you do with the mesh is at this BSX flags, click that. Integer data, click that. Hit F2 and type 138. Enter. Okay, and once you've done that, you're done with this. You want to click the floppy disk and click Save As, and put this somewhere in your Fallout 4 Meshes folder. Fallout 4 Data Meshes. This is where it would go. Now, I don't need to do that. I've already got mine. And next, you want to open the Fallout 4 Creation Kit. Once it's open, you want to click this little folder here and either make an ESP or load one that you've already got. If you're making a new one, just tick Fallout 4 and click OK. If you're loading one that already exists, find the ESP. Mine is my Snow Globes mod. Double click it, set as active, click OK. And this is going to take a while, so I'll be back when it's done. All right, we're in the creation kit now. There's a couple things you're going to have to do first. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the miscellaneous tab, and you can see I've got two windows open here, two object windows. The way I did that is you go in this list on the right hand side, you right click and then create new object window. Click that. It'll make a new one and you'll have two. It's really useful. But the first thing we're going to do is on this left hand side, you're going to scroll down to where it says miscellaneous right here. And you're going to find the keyword tab. Click that and then right click new. And you're going to just type out a keyword. This is going to go on your item and tell the display stand that this is an acceptable item. So for example, my snow globes, I put 00GV snow globe keyword. That is my keyword. So you make it, you name it. Once it's named, click OK. You've got your keyword. Next, you need your items, which these you'll go on the left-hand side to where it says items, miscellaneous item, and you'll see I have all my snow globes right here. So you'll want two variants of each one. Using my Acadia snow globe as an example, I have Acadia and I have Acadia Quest. These are exactly the same item, except they have different IDs. So you can take one that you've already made, right-click it, and duplicate, and then just give it a new name. So Acadia Quest. That helps me differentiate which one is which. Once you have that, you want to put your keyword on them. So the way you do that is you open your item and you go to keywords right here, right-click and add. Find your keyword, click it, click OK, and it will put it on there. You'll also, if you want the item to pop up like a bobblehead does, how it displays it in front of you when you pick it up, you'll want to add the featured item keyword. So right-click, add, type out featured item, add that to it. It'll do that. I'm not going to get into messages. That's pretty self-explanatory. There's tons of videos on stuff like that. You can make those if you want. They're not really necessary. That'll just be what's displayed under the item when you pick it up and it's a featured item. So once you have your model in there, you've given it a name, an ID, everything, click OK. Do that for your Quest variant of each one. And once you've done that and you have all of your items and their alternate Quest versions, you will then want to make a form list. So again, in miscellaneous, scroll down to where it says form list. Right-click new. Give this an ID. So I'm going to use 00test form list. And then for all of your miscellaneous items, which are going to be displayed, you want to control-click on each and every one of them. We'll just use this amount for right now. And just drag and drop it in there. And click OK. And you've got your form list. So next up is the quest. We're going to go ahead and make the quest for this, which will handle all of the miscellaneous items. So go to character on the left side, and under character is a quest tab. In this, you want to right-click new. Give this an ID, so we'll just do 00test quest. Name doesn't matter, you're not going to see this in game. Give it a priority of, we'll say 50. And untick run once. You don't want that. Keep start game enabled ticked. Once you've done that, click your ID and hit enter. That'll save it out. And then go back into it. And now we have all these other tabs. The one we want is Quest Aliases. Go to this tab, right click. Actually, I'm going to backtrack. I missed a step. Okay, so after you make your quest, you want to go to cells. Let me see. Here it is. These are all the cells in the game, and I made my own cell that contains all of my little items, the snow globes. I was using this for testing purposes, but you can put all of your items in a cell, just a random cell that has nothing in it except your items. You don't have to decorate it. You don't have to do anything with it except put your items in it. Make sure all of your items that are being displayed are in this cell. I'm not going to get into making a cell. I'm assuming you have a working knowledge of how to do that. But yeah, make sure your normal versions and quest versions of each item are in the cell. Once they've been placed, then go back to your quest. So we're going to open this, go back to Quest Aliases, right-click New Reference Alias. Wait for it to load. Now give it a name. So we're going to do 00 alias 01. And then specific reference in fill type. Tick that and hit select forced reference. And we're not going to select in the render window. You can, but I'm going to use this cell dropdown and I'm going to choose my cell. And then in the reference category, you want to find the item you want to display. So we're going to go with Snow Globe Acadia and click OK. And then I'm going to hit enter on that. And now I have alias 01. Now we want the quest version of that. So I'm just going to duplicate that. Double click the duplicate. Wait for it to load again. I'm going to change that to 01 quest. And under the specific reference, I'm just going to scroll down and hit the quest version. So I have Acadia and Acadia Quest. Click OK. Enter out of that, and you've got both references. So that will now be properly displayed and switched between. So what that does is when you interact with a bobblehead stand or a display container, that allows the game to switch which item is in your inventory and which one is on the stand. So if you don't have a quest version of it, and you just display the item with no quest version, then when it is displayed and it is sitting on that stand, when you grab it, it will not be put in your inventory. It will just disappear from the stand and it will be sitting in the container. You will have to go in the container to get it out. So make sure that you do this. Do that for each of your items. And once you have all of your items with their normal version and their quest version, click OK. You've now made the quest. You have all of your aliases. Now it's time to make the display stand. So to make the display stand, we want to navigate to the container section, which is found at the very bottom on the left-hand side in World Objects. There is a container section, and you want to find the bobblehead display. Bobblehead stand container. Right-click it, duplicate and rename. OK. F2, and give it whatever name you want it to have. I'm going to leave mine alone because this is a test version. But you would name this container whatever you want your container to be on its ID. Once you've done that, open it. Give it a name. This is what will be displayed in-game. I'm not going to mess with it, but that is what you will see in-game. Where it says model right here, you want to click edit. Then at the top, edit again, and find the display you made earlier. So double click that. It's now there. Click OK. It's going to be black over here. Don't worry about that. If you want that to go away, click in this window and hit A. All right, so your model's done. Next up, go down to the very bottom where it says Contains Only. Click this drop down and find your form list that you made earlier. I'll use my original snow globe form list. So you've got your form list, you've got your model. All that is left is the script. So right here, where it says bobblehead stand container script, you can make a new script. I made a new script for my snow globes, but it's not necessary. If all you want to do is display an item, then just double click this. And since you don't have messages that display with each item, you don't need these message properties. If you do have messages that display, then choose your message here. But for all intents and purposes, I'm assuming you didn't make one. I'm going to clear the value. So over here on the right, click Clear Value. And now, on all of these spots where it's the bobblehead aliases, this is where your items go. So I made my Acadia snow globes my references. So right here, I would go over and pick my quest that I made. So scroll up to the very top or bottom, wherever you put it, find your quest. I'll use my original for this. And then find your items. So as you can see, I have my normal version, and then 01 is my quest version. That's how I did it. So I'll do my normal version here, and then I guess I did it backwards. Their version was non-quest, but it doesn't matter as long as your items are separated. So my normal version and my quest version. Again, choose your quest. Then find your quest version, Acadia 01, and do that for each and every one of your items until all of these are filled out. And if you don't have 20 and instead you have 19 or whatever, assuming you did something different with your NIF to make that possible, you would just clear a value on whichever one you don't want to use. So clear all the values you don't want, like messages, clear anything on here that you know you don't need. Which for this, we are not using messages. Don't touch the bobbleheads in container unless you know what you're doing with it. It's not necessary. We're not messing with that. Right here where it says featured item, that should be filled out. If it's not, just autofill. You can tick autofill and it will select the featured item keyword. Next, we have the bobblehead structure array. This, if you grab the little thing right here on this box and drag to the right, drag it all the way out, and then pull this bar over, you will see, oh, it needs to be dragged more. You will see bobblehead dummy 001 all the way to bobblehead dummy 020. This is how the bobblehead stand knows where an item goes. These are all of those nodes that you saw in NIFScope earlier and had to move. They are named exactly the same as the ones in NIFScope. If you mess this up, if you rename these, your entire thing will cease to function. They have to be named exactly the same as your nodes in NIFScope. These should all be correct. If you are using the vanilla bobblehead stand, you should not have to change this at all. If you have to make changes to it, if you have 19 bobblehead dummies instead of 20, if you don't want 20, you would just find whichever one you removed in NIFScope, which we did not cover. I might make a video on doing stuff like that later and how to sanitize NIFs. If you did that, you would find the dummy you removed in NIFScope. We'll say maybe you removed bobblehead dummy 020. You would click it, and you would just remove. And You shouldn't have to do that, assuming you're following just basic bobblehead display standards. Once you have filled out all your properties, you will click OK. This stand is done. It should work. I'm not going to go in game and test it as I already know that this works. I'm going to click OK on that. Make sure to save your file on this floppy disk. Save plugin. I'm not going to do that. So if you need any more details on this, if there's something I didn't cover, feel free to let me know in the comments section. I know I was kind of quick about going through all of this. If there's anything else that you want me to cover, just let me know, and I might make a video on it. Thanks.